Blessings, and grand risings, everyone. Welcome to Grace in the Mornings. Okay, we're coming to you live as we do 3 days a week in my kitchen where we talk about politics, social issues, and all types of issues. And as I promised, I told you guys I was going to be here 8 o'clock on the dot. I'm a little bit late, but I'm here for it. Now, I wanted to continue the conversation of what was going on with ICE. As you can see, the name of this particular live is ICE is out of control. Miss Noam is about to be impeached, and I think it's about to go down. Let's see what happens. Now, my goal was to highlight some things that pertain to ICE that was very important for us to know about, such as some really big issues such as people going missing while in custody. Because we was looking at the numbers and the numbers was a little weird. So we're gonna get to the numbers today. You let me know if you can hear me. Pray the notifications go out. But until then, we're gonna keep it moving. So we're gonna hit the numbers. We're gonna talk about the missing people. We're gonna talk about the actual assault allegedly that's going on in ICE custody, the spending, things like that. But before we get to that, we're going to start where we left off. And right now, where we left off is that it was a beautiful young lady that we were talking about um, by the name of Miss Good, who was unalive in Memphis. Right. We say in the right place. Minneapolis, I do apologize, by ICE officers. So now this is where we're at today. Protest is breaking out all across the United States.
Jumping to all kinds of conclusions before an investigation even has begun, and even suggesting that this woman is part of a, quote, broader left-wing network. He was pressed on that by a reporter and couldn't explain what he meant by that. He just assumed that she was part of something and therefore, I guess, deserved to be shot in the face as she was driving away.
Wow.
Meanwhile, protests continue for a second day across the country, where people voiced outrage over the shooting and called for ICE to leave their cities. Demonstrations taking place in Boston, Chicago, Philadelphia, and Cleveland. Communities also held vigils to honor the life of the victim, Renee Good. The Trump administration deployed about 500 additional agents to Minnesota, adding to the roughly 2,000 DHS personnel already on the ground. Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota has placed the National Guard on standby, ready to help police to keep those demonstrations peaceful, which they have been to this point. Joining us now live from Minneapolis, MS Now reporter Namdi Iganwu. Namdi, good morning.
Good morning, Willie. A very active scene this morning outside of the street where the shooting took place a couple days ago. As you can see, there's a big police presence here. One thing we've observed over the last 2 days is protesters had essentially made the street where the shooting took place a sanctuary. They created barricades, makeshift barricades using pieces of wood, chairs, even lime scooters to cordon off the street, and had vigils there. Demonstrators would frequently come. They were passing out pizza and coffee. People would come drive hours just to pay their respects and see where the shooting took place. Well, that changed this morning. We saw dozens of city police arrive here and throw a lot of those materials into a dump truck that just left moments ago. What we were told is that there was at least one.
Now, my thing is, we're going to have to talk about this. Now, I know people are mourning, but why would they set up all of that, honestly, knowing that it was going to cause that ruckus? Honestly, you guys know that I'm going to talk about this from both sides, and I want us to be safe as possible. And this is just ridiculousness a little bit to me, per se. And then when the cops remove it, you know what's going to happen. It's going to incite the people.
One instance of emergency crews trying to access that street, and they were denied by protesters. That's a fact that at least one protester acknowledged to us today when we asked about it. So there was what we were told, a legal obligation by the city to clear this route and make sure that it was accessible. But it comes as, like you mentioned, protests have continued overnight here. Protests, and these protesters, I have to tell you, are upset. Among the things they're upset about is the rush to judgment you all just referenced from the vice president. There's a lot of people upset that the state, that there's an attempt to
Wait, hold on, y'all. Somebody sent me the clip. JD said something too. I got his statement, so we're gonna listen to it. Did he say something directly towards her? Okay, I think I got that statement. But we already know that Trump was the original one that said something disrespectful. And we also have another news broadcaster that is alleging that the officer went to the hospital. Okay, guys, let's watch this. Let's continue watching. Thank you for being with us this morning. Please hit the like button. As you know what we're doing, working to get in the algorithm.
And there's a lot of people upset about what we saw after that shooting on Wednesday when we saw
Oh,
ICE
goodness.
agents go to a local high school here. Even though the Department of Homeland Security have clarified that those agents didn't enter the school, but they made an arrest outside of the school. And the
Oh my
timing of that
goodness.
arrest
Oh, I'm
coincided.
sorry, y'all. Did y'all see the officer just buck at the kid? Why are they outside of the high school? Come on. Y'all know that is the worst place to be with those teenagers. And I'm going to keep it honest. You know these high schoolers on a different level and they don't even respect the police, okay? Shout out to the South Side. I'm just gonna have to refer it to there. Most recently, we saw a cop pull a gun out on some teenagers in high school. So it really needs to be some training for people, these officers, to deal with teenagers, even for me, because they're a little hard to deal with. Why are they out there? Why?
When
Why?
dismissal
Why?
happened, so students were caught in the fray, teachers were caught in
Wait,
the fray.
wait,
We know
wait,
at
wait,
least one
y'all.
educator
Stop it.
was arrested.
Stop. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let's watch. Y'all saw him buck at the boy. Hold on. Let's just slow this down. Y'all know y'all saw this. 1 second. Y'all know I'm going to show y'all the facts. Look at this. Why did he buck at the teenager?
Didn't enter the school,
Look.
but they made an arrest outside of the school.
Look.
The
You
timing
see?
of
You
that
see?
arrest
You see? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to shut up. Y'all saw that. Y'all saw that. Let's watch this. Continue on.
coincided with when dismissal happened. So students were caught in the fray, teachers were caught in
Look,
the
look.
fray. We know at least one educator was arrested.
These are kids.
And that's resulted in classes being canceled at least until Monday. Uh, the effect that that's had is you've seen
Okay, I'm trying to look at the crowd, and it looks like a mixed crowd to me of teenagers. So, I got to highlight that so I can pull on the hearts of everybody. That's our teenagers out there with ICE, with these ridiculous. Look, oh my God, they about to put Bavino on the screen. You know I can't stand him. With these type of people who hit people in the head with pepper balls, grown adults, pastors. So you know they don't care about our kids. This unacceptable. But let's go.
a lot of young people specifically at these demonstrations lately, including one high schooler I spoke
Watching.
to
Oh.
yesterday that went to Roosevelt High School. I want to play for you what she told me about how what she saw that day inspired her to join protest.
It's just disgusting, and it's just so like dehumanizing to those people, and like they're our friends.
See?
And like I go to school with like
Oh my
there's a
goodness.
huge Somali population at Roosevelt High School, which is where I go, and it's just terrifying to see. Like I know that those students were terrified when I showed up to our school yesterday, and I just think it's disgusting.
This is when everybody is going to get the true definition of being American. This is when it's hitting the fan. And I have to show Mega. This could be your daughter. And she has common sense. This is human beings here. Let's go. Thank you for speaking up, young lady.
Governor Walz today really has encouraged local officials, regardless of their political affiliation, to condemn any sort
Thank
of
you.
immigration enforcement effort at or near schools.
If they're not going to do it properly, I don't want it to happen. So this is what's going on, this protest around America. And I want to say this, we're just going to still humanize Miss Nicole a little bit. And it says what we know about Renee Good, the woman who shot and killed by ICE. Let's see what CBS has to say about her before we get into Miss Noam about to get impeached and JD Vance, the assassin. The assassin. Oh, y'all, don't forget about Nicki Minaj. I didn't say anything, which you already know that petition has over 100,000 signatures. I'm going to get to y'all comments. Let's just watch this real quick, and then I'll get to y'all comments real quick. Thank you for being here.
Woman shot and killed by an ICE agent just yesterday. A warning for you here. The video you're about to see is graphic. So you can see ICE agents stopping this SUV yesterday. One of them tries to open the car door. The driver reverses the car, then pulls away. Then a different officer in front of the car shoots. And seconds later, that SUV slams into a parked car. And that's the moment that shooting took place.
Now, one thing that I did not highlight yesterday, but they kind of lowered it. That scream of the witness, it was blood curdling. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Just imagine it was. Uh, Love and blessings to her as well because the people around is traumatized with these crazy actions. Again, we went over it yesterday, kind of the legal aspects of the view. Y'all can look at that. That's not what we're going to talk about right now. But again, I want you guys to remember this lady is human. That's why people are coming together.
The victim, I should say, has been identified as 37-year-old Renee Good. According to two federal officials, she was a U.S. citizen. City leaders say she served as a legal observer of federal actions in the city. Here's how local and federal officials are reacting to that deadly shooting.
They are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense. Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is to ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis.
Why they
He
skipped
doesn't know
over
what he's
everything?
talking about. It's very clear that this individual was harassing and impeding law enforcement operations. Our officer
We got to
followed
her
his
too
training,
fast.
did exactly what he's been taught to do in that situation, and took actions to defend himself.
Now, let me stop right here. That's why he's about to be impeached. Now, we talked about this in detail. My research perspective of how an officer is supposed to deal with an oncoming vehicle, and that is not to stand in front of it. Then we had a legal expert that y'all saw yesterday say the same thing. He said that's literally like walking with scissors and, well, running with scissors. That's one-on-one police not to get in front of a car that is accosting you or may try to run away, let alone shoot at the car. This is why this about to get impeached. But we ain't even supposed to be talking about this broad. Okay. You know who else make my skin crawl? I meant to say Bavino. He makes my skin crawl.
Fellow law enforcement officers.
That's a
Now,
lie.
protests are erupting around the country. On the left side of your screen there is New York City, and on the right side, Minneapolis. And that is where we find CBS News correspondent Usher Qureshi. Usher, what are you learning about the victim and the ICE agent involved in this deadly shooting?
Blessings, everyone.
Well, as you mentioned, she's been identified as 37-year-old Renee Good. She was a mother of a 6-year-old. We do understand, according to city leaders, that she was here as a legal observer, looking at what was going on here, observing federal investigations here in the neighborhood. And we're just a short distance away from where this happened, just a few hundred feet, Mugo. And over the last few hours or so, we've started to see the growth of people coming to visit this memorial where she was killed. As for that ICE agent, not much has been revealed about him. His identity has not been shared. They do tell us, we know from two federal sources that tell CBS News he's part of an ICE enforcement and removal operations team. DHS Secretary Kristi Noam said the agent was taken to the hospital and later released. But still,
okay, so now you hear the news changing up. Now, yesterday we looked at several news broadcasts that did not say that he went to the hospital. They literally cut out the part where Trump was the only one saying that she went to the hospital. Let's get to your comments real quick. But what we're going to highlight right now is that they are highlighting that she was a legal observer, which is legal, but we still have to figure out why she was diagonal. But as we talk about surveillance today that they have, I would assume that they didn't have their body cam on. Now let's just move it on to the comments. Someone said, Trixie, when there is a gun pointing at you, when they say stop, you would think you would stop. Now, we don't want to disrespect the dead or disrespect anyone, because here, I just want you to know, my name is Miss Grace, and this is a multicultural, multi-diverse platform where we accept everybody, Democrat, Republicans, whatever, as long as we put respect on everybody's name. I'm a separatist. I separate from the BS. So we separate from that. But with that goes to say, like I said, we talked about people flight or flight mechanism. And I don't know, why, how she got in that position. But definitely when a gun is pointed to your face, that's a fight or flight mechanism that will kick in. And we all respond differently. So let's just put some respect on that. With this goes, say let's move on. Zap, she was on her way back home from dropping off her 6-year-old at school. We have many counteracting stories. Some say she was observer. You're the first that I heard watching her kid. I mean, dropping her kid off. But thank you for that information. Now, all this could have been avoided. She was also on the camera telling ICE agents they were going to die. Where is that footage? Can you please send that to me? Could you please send that to me? USS 10, please send that to me. She was in a group. Now, this is what I wanted to get to, exactly what you said. I kind of just abbreviate your names, guys. She was in a group that goes out and gives pushback to ICE. Her wife, where did I get this information from? Her wife called her out the block to block ICE. She did that. She was stopped by ICE and decided to pull off while the officers was in front of the car. Now I'm kind of hesitant to read it. I'm like, where did you get all this information from? I didn't find that, but if you could send me the clip, please do. Um, my mod, if you want to put my email address in there for someone to send me some proof of that, as far as that, but what we will say is that from the evidence-based practice perspective and the legal practice perspective, it is the perspective of what the most common person would do in the eyes of the cop, not just her. So there's a lot to actually kind of put into this perspective. Now, let's move on. I just wanted to get to your comments a little bit. I didn't want y'all to think that I was disregarding you guys, and I did want to send love and blessing to Miss Noam. Now, I will say this. We had over about seven, I'm going to say about 7 people who were shot by ICE in September. So I think I have that. Let me see if the New York Times is going to let me um, play that article for you guys, show you that article. If not, I'm going to skip to the agent who shot Renee Good was dragged by the car. Let's put that on, and then I'm going to get to how many ICE people have been killed by ICE in the last couple of months. So let's see what they're saying as far as now. There's a another another angle, guys. Because you saw how many videos I played yesterday. I was long-winded, and none of them said this. But now we have to push Trump narrative. Tonight, the ICE agent who shot and killed a Minneapolis woman yesterday was involved in another incident just months ago.
It happened in Bloomington in June when agents tried to arrest a child sex offender who is here illegally. Fox 9's Mike Manzoni joins us from the newsroom at this hour. And Mike, the driver dragged that agent some 100 yards.
What?
And he ended up with cuts on his arm.
Oh my goodness. Y'all, I gotta sound like my Haitian grandma. Y'all serious? Y'all serious? Get in the comment. You serious? No. I'm sorry.
Hand and face and needed more than 30 stitches. It all started when ICE agents tried to pull the man over, and he took
Hold on, wait. Is this the other? The man? Hold up, wait a minute. Who the hell is reporting this? What's wrong with Fox 5? Did they just call her a man? I'm sorry. I had to just pause. This is misreporting as okay, shut up and play this. What the fuck is Fox talking about?
Nearly 7 months before ICE agent Jonathan Ross shot and killed Renee Good in South Minneapolis, he ended up in the hospital after another incident involving a car.
Hold up. Let's replay this because I missed the concept. They talking about the man. Okay, wait a minute. They talking about the man and the lady. They mixed the story up. Let me shut up. I thought I was quiet. Let's play this one more time, y'all. The ICE agent who shot and killed a Minneapolis woman yesterday was involved in another incident just months ago. Okay, I missed this part.
In June, when agents tried to arrest a child sex offender who is here illegally. Fox 9's Mike Manzoni joins us from the newsroom at this hour. And Mike, the driver dragged that agent some 100 yards.
And he ended up with cuts on his arm, hand, and face and needed more than 30 stitches. It all started when ICE agents tried to pull the man over, and he took off. Nearly 7 months before ICE agent Jonathan Ross shot and killed Renee Good in South Minneapolis, he ended up in the hospital after another incident involving a car. These photos from federal court records show Ross's injuries after prosecutors say this man, Roberto Munoz, dragged him 100 yards through a Bloomington neighborhood. The feds say Munoz is here illegally from Guatemala. That's why ICE agents pulled him over in June, but he refused to lower his window or open his door. That's when the agent broke the driver's side rear window and reached his hand into the car to try to unlock the door. But Munoz took off, taking the agent with him. The agent used a taser on Munoz, but it didn't work. He eventually fell to the ground because of the erratic driving. Bloomington police later arrested the driver after he called 911 and claimed that ICE agents assaulted him.
Who? Okay, y'all hear this part right there? That's what I was like, wait a minute, did they have a warrant? What was this thing about? But hold on. This is a serial killer. I just got a flashback, y'all. I just got a flashback. This is a silly serial killer cop.
And federal prosecutors charged the driver with assaulting a federal officer. A jury convicted him last month.
Okay.
In the newsroom tonight.
Where's the rest of the charges? Can we listen to it one more time? Y'all know why he pulled the guy over? One second. I didn't even know that this consists of this. I'm sorry, y'all. This blew my daggone mind. Didn't it just blow y'all? So this guy is literally a serial killer. And this is not the first, because I've been talking about another serial killer cop that's on the south side that had bodies, okay? And that man killed so many people that he unalived himself. And his partner is still active. I just got deja vu, y'all. Check out my Alexis Wilson playlist. I was investigating something so similar. And as I compared that story yesterday where he shot Alexis up, jumped in the car, and he had a history of being aggressive. This cop, it's so much deja vu, have a history of doing similar stuff. Ooh, ICE agent, I mean. Let's play this one more time, y'all, because I missed why he pulled him over. Did y'all see it? Serial killer. Cereal, like the cereal box. Like the Cheerios you eat. He want all the cereal in the morning. Yeah.
The ICE agent who shot and killed a Minneapolis woman yesterday was involved in another incident just months ago.
It happened in Bloomington in June when agents tried to arrest a child sex offender.
So Fox 5 is spreading lies? Y'all let me know.
Who is here illegally. Fox 9's Mike Manzoni joins us from the newsroom at this hour. And Mike, the driver dragged that agent some 100 yards.
Wow.
And he ended up with cuts on his arm, hand, and face and needed more than 30 stitches. It all started when ICE agents tried to pull the man over, and he took off. Nearly 7 months before ICE agent Jonathan Ross shot and killed Renee Good in South Minneapolis, he ended up in the hospital after another incident involving a car. These photos from federal court records show Ross's injuries after prosecutors say this man, Roberto Munoz, dragged him 100 yards through a Bloomington neighborhood. The feds say Munoz is here illegally from Guatemala. That's why ICE agents pulled him over in June, but he refused to lower his window or open his door.
Okay, let's stop right there. That's all I wanted to see. Now, this is what I'm saying. Okay, if they were following this guy and knew this guy was here illegally, why would you wait to get in the car to go chase him down? Obviously, you should know where he live at. You should already have this information, but you were pulling him over because he was illegal. That's why I was trying to look for the charges before. Do you see what I'm saying? Again, something a little bit reckless, but let's move on because we found out something new. Let's get to Kristi Noam. She's getting impeached. We gonna lock her ass up too. I'm sorry. Good morning. Let's lock her ass up. She got to go.
Because of the protesters and the violent criminals that were attacking our law enforcement. If you remember in that operation, what happened was our officers were out trying to get a car stuck out of the snow when they were surrounded and assaulted.
Okay, God, now we're getting another story. Remember, it was all of this. They was in the middle of investigation. She was impeding an investigation. Okay, let's listen closely. And then we saw the story last towards the end of the live where it developed into they were stuck in the snow. And I had this scenario. She was probably making fun of their asses and they got mad with their low intellectual intelligence. But yeah, let her tell it before she get impeached.
Because of the protesters and the violent criminals that were attacking our law enforcement. If you remember in that operation, what happened was our officers were out trying to get a car stuck out of the snow when they were surrounded and assaulted and blocked in by protesters that were inciting.
Was there protesters out there? Was there a lot of protesters, y'all? Did they mention it?
He did follow his training because of an individual that was...
It's the lies for me.
This is an experienced officer who followed his training, and we will continue to let the investigation unfold into the individual and continue to follow the procedures and policies that happen in these use of force cases. But let's remember the events that surrounded what happened yesterday on that tragic situation.
And guess what? We're going to be able to look at the events that surrounds this situation because that court that struck down or brought back the case that we talked about yesterday, we're going to refresh our memory on another day. Just know that the scope of excessive force, the use thereof, is now going to be looked at from the totality of the situation, not just how the officer felt that their life was in danger. Yeah, we about to get some justice.
Was that these individuals had followed our officers all day, had harassed them, had blocked them in. They were impeding our law enforcement operations, which is against the law. And when they demanded and commanded her to get out of her vehicle several times, she did not.
So she lied because she looked and blocked it in. It don't look like she blocked them in. We did see that Miss Good looked like her vehicle was diagonal, not the right position, which would highlight that she may have been trying to leave. Okay, but we know there's no investigation going on, and as I said, she may have been making fun of them or something, and this went to the left.
So we'll continue to allow this process to unfold and recognize that these law enforcement officers every single day put their lives on the line. You know, we've got thousands of officers there, and I'm not opposed to sending more if necessary to keep people safe.
She going to jail. She going to jail because they not keeping nobody safe. Now, what we hear now is Kristi Noam faces impeachment threats. You know they be playing with our emotions, guys. I just have to read this. This is News Weekly. The only reason why I'm not showing you the article because sometimes these pop-up be showing up. But let me get to the content because we heard her talk already. But let's see what the Congress talking about as they play with our emotions all the time. Thank you for being here. Please hit the like button as we give you a comprehensive breakdown of what's going on. We're not right, we're not left, we're just telling on everyone, okay? It says, Congresswoman said she plans, it says a Congresswoman, so let's see who they're talking about. Okay. A Congresswoman said that she's planning to file articles of impeachment against the Department of Homeland Security, Kristi Noam, after the U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement agent shot and killed a woman in Minneapolis on Wednesday, striking fury and protest and condemnation across the United States. Okay, so it talked about Kristi. It talked about Renee, who she is. The DHS spokesman told Newsweekly the effort is silly, inciting the increase in assaults against ICE officer. Rep. Kelly is more focused on showmanship and fundraising, checking that actually cleaning up her crime-ridden Chicago district. So this is who they're talking about. Who is this? Show me who again? Miss Kelly Rep. So y'all know who Kelly is of Chicago? It looks like they're gonna be trying to move forward with an impeachment towards Miss Noam. We're gonna follow up on that because I have more important things to talk about because that devil is gonna go. We're gonna move on. But I do want to show you this. This is a hypocrisy for me because what it is that it's more people who have been hurt by ICE. So hold on, I found another article that's not as messed up. It says Illinois. Let's get to this. So it's Illinois Congresswoman. This is who it is. More detail. Robin Kelly announced plans to file article of impeachment against Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noam on Thursday. Kelly made the announcement after ICE agents shot and killed a woman in Minneapolis Wednesday morning. Kelly was also vocal opposing the federal immigration operations in Chicago, dubbing Operation Midway Blitz, which also involved two shootings by ICE and Custom and Border agents, one of which was fatal. And you remember when we talked about that? That was the Spanish guy who got unalived. And the lady, she survived out there. Shout out to the South Side because they be putting up the fight for their life. And I thought Bovino was out, but his ass came back. Kelly released a statement on Wednesday night saying, I had enough of this. All right. Noam has turned ICE into a rogue office, violating the Constitution, tearing families apart, and leaving death in her wake. She wrote in part, from Chicago to Minneapolis, her reckless cost lives. His reckless cost lives, including Renee Nicole Good. This isn't just dangerous, it's impeachable. I'm fighting back. Okay. So this is what's happening, and I love it. Thank you so much. But what we're gonna do is name the numerous people who have been unalive by ICE. Okay, because there's more than one. Um, JD Vance. I don't want to hear him right now. We'll talk about that. We'll move that over real quick because I just want to name a few people. Because did y'all know that it was a gentleman? This is what's most recently. Two shot by federal agent after targeted stop. Portland mayor asks ICE to halt operation. And this just happened in the last 24 to 48 hours. Thank you for making me aware of this. Let's get to this because they're not talking about this a lot, but it is a international thing. Okay, the whole country. Let's see. Oh, this is insurance information. Hold on one second. Let me get to the article, y'all. And then we're going to see if we can find a video to entertain you guys. But I got to bring the facts here real quick. Thank you for being with me. I got a lot to show you guys. And we got some facts to break down to you guys because we got to talk about money. It says two people were injured in shooting, and the shooting involved a federal agent in Portland. Now, this has happened in the last 24 to 48 hours. Okay, guys? Portland, Oregon, on Thursday. Yeah, today's Friday. According to the authorities, with the mayor calling for immigration enforcement operation to halt while the investigation is ongoing. The Department of Homeland Security said that the shooting occurred while the border patrol. So we're back. We're back to the border patrol again, guys. Oh my God, because y'all know I cannot stand Savino. The Department of Homeland Security said the shooting occurred while the Border Patrol agent were conducting a targeted stop on a vehicle carrying two people allegedly affiliated with the Trinidad Agua. Dun 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 dun. I'm gonna get to y'all comments, but what a coinkydink. Can we drink some coffee to this real quick? My mouth getting a little dry. Listen to this. Why just okay? This is when I get into my psyop. This turned into a tin hat. So we know that we have to follow up on what's going on with the kidnapping of Maduro and the taking of the boats, the oil, and all of this intertwining of different countries. You know, changing their currency, blah blah blah. Now they have Maduro in there, and what we found out is that the gang that they said Maduro created and was moving all of his cocoa don't exist. But you know, in that last live, I was like, why would they make up a gang that don't exist when they could have just used Tren de Agua? And nobody's been talking about Tren de Agua, which should have been the focal point of all of this deportation because they were supposed to be the most notorious, the worst gang. You know, it was supposed to be orchestrations of this, and we have not seen that. Have we? Have we seen that? No. So now, just with my tin hat, we got Tren de Agua in the mix. They chopping it up, y'all. Let's just think about it. Let's just a little bit weird. Okay, so the passenger was the target. And every time, again, we got to talk to ICE about the way they implement their missions. Why do they always try to do a stop in a car? Don't these people live in a house? Don't they sleep somewhere? I'm just saying, maybe I think of things a little bit different, but I'm just going to move on from that. When agents identified themselves to the vehicle occupants, the driver weaponized his vehicle in an attempt to run over the law enforcement agent. Let's talk about this. Now, you identified yourself. All right, what did you do? You threw your sirens on, you put your badge out, and then they ran. How does this work? Was he on the ground? Was he walking? We're going to get into it a little bit, but you know I like to break things down. Like it's the how for me because I start asking, and you know it start being developments in different articles. But this is in the last 24 hours in Portland. Shout out to all the victims that we talk about today because we're going to talk about them like they're a news story, but they're actually human beings. So an agent fired a defense shot at the driver's door off with the passenger, according to the DHF. Okay, so wait. They were going for the passenger and they shot at the driver's door, which called the situation evolving. Okay, wait a minute. Y'all hear that? So wasn't they going after the passenger? So why did they shot through the driver's door? Moving forward, DHS also said that the passenger was involved in a recent shooting in Portland. During the press conference, the Portland Police Chief Bob Day said local officers do not know the facts of this case, but an investigation is ongoing. Asking whether the passenger is linked to a previous shooting, the police chief said, "I can't comment on whether or not that this is the case. We don't know who these individuals are." Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, who said that? That better not have been the Border Patrol. That better been just the police, okay? Because I bet you they were doing a random stop like they always do, and it went rogue and crazy. Okay? Portland Mayor Keith Williams told reporter, "We know that the federal government says happened here. There was little time when we could take them at their word." Yeah, but that was a long time ago. That time is long past. Exactly. I'm adding some ad libs to this, y'all, because at the end of the day, this is ridiculous. And this, you know why it's ridiculous? Because it's repetitive. So when you say things repetitive, maybe I just get you kind of like, okay, let me change my voice up just a little bit. Because the people who've been watching me, y'all see like, okay, this sounds the same. Okay, we are calling on ICE to halt all operations in Portland until a full and independent investigation can take place, he said. Our community deserves answers. The conditions of the individuals who were shot has not been released. Okay, so we have another shooting again, and we don't see no real investigation. The cops don't know who they are. My thing is that, okay, if you have boots on the ground, why aren't you working with the other agencies out there? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay, because when we show you the money that they're spending, they have a lot of money that they're spending on contracts with local officials. So why don't the police know about the Tren de Agua that's in the area? U.S. citizen says encounter with ICE agent in Brooklyn Park led him to the hospital. So we have another one right here. Um, we're just going to read this to you. Let's see. This was on January 6th. Matter of fact, I want to get to this one. I want to get to another unalive one that's very important that I think you guys should know that took place around Christmas time, 2000, this Christmas in LA. Okay. We have an issue, guys, and ICE is going to cause us some freaking problems. Let's get to it. Let's play this real quick. Shout out to everyone who are showing here. Bear with me, guys. Good morning. Good morning. This is our second live for the day. Please hit the like button. Let's see if we get this to play correctly. Now, this took place in LA. Oh, do we got the mute? Hold on one second, y'all.
This memorial is here for family, friends to mourn. We're here off Amestoy Avenue, close to where Keith Porter was gunned down by that off-duty ICE agent. This memorial is here for family, friends to mourn. This song, meant to uplift, only lowered the mood as this crowd grieves the death of a 43-year-old father of two. Keith Porter was shot and killed New Year's Eve by an off-duty ICE agent. What would you like to say to the ICE agent if you had the chance?
If I could say anything to the ICE agent, is that you're a murderer.
Now, let's just get to this. Somebody in the comments said, "You come here illegally, be prepared to leave illegal." That white lady who you saw, she was legal. She was a legal citizen. Thank God that her story is finally causing a national uproar. But there's more than one type of individual that's being heard here, and they are Americans. So this is the second American. Let's get the narrative correct here. These are Americans that's being unalived by ICE, not just the migrants, allegedly the illegals in custody.
You stole my cousin from me. You stole their father from them. You stole a black man off the planet that God ordained to live and thrive. You stole a human life and you need to pay for it.
According to the Department of Homeland Security, the off-duty ICE agent heard gunfire near his apartment and went to check it out. That's when DHS says the officer encountered Porter holding a long rifle. Advocates say Porter was observing the holiday that night with gunfire.
You don't get to just murder people because you don't like what they're doing or how they're celebrating.
Wait a minute. Now, y'all know I have to talk about the legal aspects. Y'all let me know if it's illegal for them to, I know Los Angeles is not an open carry. You have to have a license. But to shoot it in the air for me is something that, the mega's going to highlight. So I have to highlight that. But, okay, why did he come guns drawn, guns blazing, instead of calling local officials to come around and check it out like they're supposed to? Because he was off duty, as they stated.
Allegedly ordered Porter to put down the weapon, and when he didn't comply, DHS says the off-duty officer fired his service gun. The agency claims Porter fired 3 rounds at the officer before he was killed.
This is sad. This is sad. These are 35 years. This is the first time that such a thing ever happened in my community.
As the LAPD investigates what led up to the shooting, the community want witnesses to come forward and the ICE agent identified, arrested, and prosecuted for killing the man they say was kind.
All right. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. We're going to give you some numbers as we get to show you some more clips. But as we pulled up right here, as of 2025, early 2026, the U.S. Immigration Enforcement has reached record high detention levels under the current administration, okay? Total people detained, and we talked about this, about 68,000 people right now, which we don't have room for. And remember, they're detaining people that are American citizens, and they're pushing them out into, let's say, places that we are destroying. I just want to throw that out there. That's something you need to think about when we talk about all these nations that's about to come against us, okay? Because I really want to talk about, remember that. But let's get this together, because there are over 600,000 people that they allegedly came through ICE, but we don't have the numbers correct when it comes to understanding where these people went. People are becoming missing in ICE custody, and this is something that we're going to disclose to you guys, because there's a lot of stories going on about it. And hold on one second, because I have a few more things that I just wanted to show you. I had a whole lot, but I think right now, since I'm getting the 40 minutes, bear with me, guys. I have something to do today, so I got to shorten this live. I had a few other people that I wanted to show you, but I'm just going to say this. There is a mother by the name of Mother Jones who had been unalived most recently by ICE, okay, which was a student, which was a American. We also have a veteran right here. These are some articles I have, and I'm going to put that at the bottom for you guys. I'm going to kind of breeze through this because I wanted to get to each of them to give them the respect. But this is a veteran who was wrongfully detained during his 50th birthday cruise. Okay. These are some of the things that I want you to take in consideration, that there are not only immigrants being subjected to this, again, as we give love and blessing to Miss Good. Now, let's get to the numbers, because we got about 30 minutes to bust this down and get into what J.D. Vance said, because I'm a little not happy to the fact that we have this assassin right here. Shout out to Nicki Minaj. Almost on her way on the deported list. Made the wrong choice for the money. But let's see what J.D. Vance said to get him in trouble as we get into the numbers. J.D. Vance is saying that quiet part out loud. Okay, let's say what they usually do. He's trying to be politically correct. Let's see. You know what? I wonder why he's so quiet. Why he is so quiet and why he is not in the limelight. Y'all tell me. Think about that. Think about that. I think just think about that. Okay, it has people paying close attention. In a recent statement, the president said he expects the deportation numbers to increase as more people are hired to deploy to work for immigration and custom enforcement, including agents going door to door. Okay, he's not that quiet. Mhm. So this is what we're supposed to be expecting in the upcoming months, where we could possibly get knocks on our door. Why do you need to do door-to-door knocks? This is one of the things I want to just kind of highlight as we talk about the execution of ICE. Is real investigation going? So now we have to do a census. Are we about to run around and do a census on the people instead of actually linking where the Tren de Agua at, these sleeper cells at, through the programs that they got the money? At least you know that the house where they were at, maybe it'll be some people who could trace them to you. But no, you're about to knock on all our doors. And you remember they did that to us when they were walking in the black neighborhoods? I just got to tell y'all that. And people were laughing like, oh. I think they did it in a place where marijuana was. I think that was in Chicago. Okay, and they were laughing at the guys because they was like, "Yeah, you was on your porch smoking. You put smoke inside." Yeah, they're about to do this to everybody. They do it to us, test it on us, see how it feels with y'all. You don't say anything, and now here we go. I'm just keeping it real. That's just the real. Okay, let's read this. I think we're going to see those deportation numbers ramp up as we get more and more people online working for ICE, going door to door. Who's working for ICE? Let me finish read this because I be getting distracted. Y'all remember that executive order allegedly that, and y'all gonna be mad at me because I'm about to call the Democrats out. Ask Obama about the executive order, and I'll get the number where he basically gave foreign entities the right to join our army if they consider us being domestic terrorists. Y'all remember that executive order? Hmm? That Obama put out. And that's why all the conspiracy theorists, my tin hat was like, shing, shing, shing. The conspiracy theorists was saying, hey, is he trying to be a dictator? Is they trying to get foreign entities to come after us? Who actually will work for ICE right now, knowing what they're doing? I'm just throwing that out there. I know y'all probably don't like that. Love and blessings to the people who love Obama, but that's what he did. The comment comes as Trump administration continues to push an aggressive immigration enforcement agenda during Trump's second term. Over the past several months, officials have emphasized expanding ICE staffing, increasing funding for enforcement operations, and removing what they described as international barriers that slowed deportation in previous years. Oh my God, what are they about to do? According to the administration official, the plan centers on booting manpower first, okay? Then scaling up enforcement in residential areas once new agents are trained and deployed. What residential areas? Now you can't say they're just going to come to the black neighborhoods, even though they've been focused on, places that Trump hate. But the door-to-door language is what immediately sets off alarm across social media, particularly in the immigration community and among advocate groups who say that these tactics historically lead to fear, confusion, and wrong detention. Historically, large-scale ICE operations involving home visiting have been controversial. Past administrations faced lawsuits and public backlash over raids that were screwed up. Undocumented immigrants alongside U.S. citizen and illegal residents. So we was all, because this happened before. Okay. Vance's remarks suggest that the current administration sees those criticisms as second to the enforcement goal. We're up shit creek without a paddle. Thank you, Mega. Mega. Good job. Good. Okay, now let's just get to the numbers real quick because what I really wanted to do in this broadcast, because they just keep filling us up with the madness, I wanted to get to um, some of the numbers of what affect us and what more lawsuits will be coming and the money spending. Why will we be getting more lawsuits? Check this out. The number of assault cases that took place in the detention. Thousands of sexual abuse and assault complaints have been reported by individuals in ICE custody, which report indicates over 1,000 complaints of sexual abuse between This was between 2015 and early in 2018. In 2025, investigation indicate that at least 41 right now only credible reports of credible, listen to the words, credible sexual abuse and mistreatment are valuable or contain or considered valuable, meaning like that it's true, of detainees in various facilities. So they're saying right now only in 2024 was 41. But just listen to the verbiage that I had said. They are presumed, they have identified it themselves. They have did their investigation. Some may have been swept under the rug. So sexual abuse reports, I just want to kind of get to right now. Physical abuse outside of sexual abuse in 2025 in these facilities identify the 41 possible, what they say, reports of physical sexual abuse, with many originated in the facilities of Texas, Georgia, and California. Okay, targeted geographic report include cases of sexual abuse against migrant children. I'm going to bed. I'm not done with the statement. Migrant children. I'm not going to keep this long-winded. And pregnant women. Who's going to bed? Who's going to be in trouble? Mega. Let's move on. We just had to throw these numbers because it's bigger than what us we're actually just seeing where ICE is out there kicking ass, and taking names and running over people. And everybody tried to run over ICE. But let's get into the next thing. Who's missing in custody? Wait. I just want to get to it. Let's just get to the numbers real quick. How many people has been deported? How many people has been missing? This is not reliable statistics, so this is for information educational purposes only. There is no reliable official statistics or public report numbers of individuals classified as missing from the U.S. immigration, it says. But let's get to this. Many people have indicated that they have difficulties locating their family members. Advocates and lawyers sometimes struggle to locate individuals within the complex web of detention, especially indicated. Let's keep it real. We have the fast track. You got less than 24 hours to get in contact with somebody if they don't find your paper accidentally. I'm just throwing some stuff out there. But this is the difficulty that they're having that is being reported by family members, which is from advocates as well. That especially after transfer or release, these individuals allegedly become missing. Wait, let me pick that up. I gotta keep reading. I just threw that down. You know how they just, when the meat come off the bone and they just throw something. That's what I just did. That was ridiculous. Lack of the other issue that they're highlighting that caused this is because lack of centralized communication. Non-citizen can be moved between various facilities. I don't think it's just non-citizens, but let's just keep this for information educational purposes only, making it difficult for their family or legal representative to maintain consistent contact and their known location, which increases the probability of going missing. I'm going to stop right there. So we don't have no numbers. I'm gonna just say that we just have a problem. We just have some things that some advocates is actually just complaining about, and I just wanted to throw that out there. Now we're gonna get to the budget. Let's talk about it because I'm hitting my checklist. Y'all gonna get this work today. Thank you for being here, hitting the like button. I will get to y'all comments, but we need to break this down comprehensively because when you go arguing with your friends and be like, "This why you support ICE," let's get this right. Or why you don't, you're gonna have non-biased information. Now, ICE spending between 2024, 25, and 26. I'm going to make this comprehensive for you guys because I'm not going to show you the chart. But in 2024, the budget was enacted, and what they say is actual, is about $9.9 billion. 2024. Hello. 2025, it was $28.7 billion. Trump's mega. That's more than double. That's more than double. We're just going to keep it simple. It's more than double. Then, now they plan in 2000, the estimated requested mandated funds from Trump is $30 billion plus estimated. Let me take a whole glass to shut the hell up. Okay, so can we just break it down just a little bit for you guys? And I think that I hit all the points that I want to hit today because we're going to come back this weekend. I don't want to blow your mind, But let's just get to this. 2024, the base budget was approximately $9.9 billion. Spending focused on core missions with detention capacities about 41,000. We're at 65 plus, but let's move on. And they're adding on buildings that were literally condemned. And I know that from what's happening in Newark, the place that they have. Okay, we're not going to talk about that. Condemned buildings making people sick, but we're going to shut up. So it definitely increased from 2024. 2025, the budget nearly tripled, $28.7 billion. This massive increase followed a $10 billion initial appropriation in March, $10 billion, okay? Following by a massive supplemental package in July 2025 that added $18.7 billion. Mega, did you reapply for Social Security yet? Did you get the denial letter or the lower amount of money? Some people got a little bit more money though. Depends. Now, 2026, just to sum this up, the new budget request and projected is about $30 billion plus. Base request, the formal declaration budget is requesting for the fiscal year 11.3 billion with supplemental funds between 18 and 19 billion dollars. Operation Target. In 2026, budget is designed to support 100,000 detention beds. So we didn't even make it there yet. That's probably what they were doing with all the Walmarts. Shout out to my tin hatters. Like, what the hell? They're shutting down Walmarts and shit. Yeah, where they're gonna put all these damn people? They're building more jails and not more schools. Shut up, you're a new ager. Okay, y'all. I just gotta make fun of y'all. I'm getting it off my chest because it's happening right now. You kind of make fun of it when you living through it because you expect it, but we still gotta get prepared. Okay, just I just gotta be real. But let's move forward. So they're trying to do 100,000 detention bed and the goal of 1 million removals. We're going to get to that number later on. Okay, so I think the last thing that I wanted to talk about is this. One of the guys was complaining because the ICE officer told him, turn off your video. ICE agent tells North Carolina man, okay, to quit recording. So let's just watch this real quick. And this is just gonna, I guess this is where we're gonna close off. I thought we were gonna close off before. This talks about the surveillance state that we're about to go in because these some of them are bitches. They got money for that. Stop it. You see, that's why I didn't want to show y'all stuff until I get it together. Okay, let's watch this. Hold on, give me a second, y'all. Y'all see how everything be popping on the screen? Thank you for being here. If y'all getting a comprehensive breakdown, if y'all understand what I'm saying, you know I'm putting in that work real quick. Give me a second. I'm about to show y'all my man getting told, put down the damn camera because that's gonna bridge us right into actually our last topic where they are mass surveillance and what's up with the Charlotte Observer? Shit. Sorry, I got all these pop-ups. I love you guys. Let's play this real quick. Hit the like button. Thank you for being here. I'm working hard. I'm working hard. They took me out the algorithm, y'all. That's why I do my life. They speak in English. Oh, shoot.
Buenos días, buenos días.
What we got
Miren, le hago
going
este
on?
videito nomás para dejarles saber que migración anda aquí en South
Heck
Bend.
no. Stop it.
Miren,
I got to get to y'all comment. No, we ain't getting no $5,000 Doge check. I want my $2,000 too. Wait, sorry, y'all. You got me distracted.
y el Advanced Auto Parts, antes de llegar a la Inés, está este banco, el First National Bank. Los acaban de detener, mi esposo me avisó.
It's a 4-minute clip.
Se iban, no sé si 2 o 3 muchachos aquí.
She's speaking Spanish. Let's get to the part to the officer.
Está mi hijo también.
Where the officer say stop
Y son
recording.
ciudadanos, ¿eh?
Hold on. Why you gotta be showing me commercials, y'all? Uh-oh. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, I got ADHD. I started watching it. Yeah, I started watching the commercial. Oh, shoot. All right, let's get to the point where they told them to stop recording. I'm going to leave this link for you because I want to wrap this up because I want to get into the surveillance issues. I got a client this morning, y'all. Check this out. Stop moving around. Oh my goodness. Oh, we're gonna have to watch this again. Oh, wait, we're gonna have to watch this on another day. All right. Now let's just get to the surveillance part real quick because this is gonna bridge us into us getting into the surveillance state as well and what they're using ICE for. Okay. Now, in 2026, the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Surveillance Program target both non-citizens and U.S. citizens. Okay, this is just a verbal breakdown. Through their primary stated purpose is immigration enforcement, we are all affected. So the target on non-citizen mass deportation effort, ICE utilized advanced tracking as AI-driven systems like Immigration OS to identify and locate undocumented immigrants to remove, but they don't know their address. They definitely got their license plates, but not their damn address. Continue vetting. This is what they target their surveillance on. Non-citizen, including these legal status who have the H-1B visas and pending application, are subjected to continued social media monitoring. So they're monitoring them as well. I went over. I just totally just like I'm not about to show them watching us on social media because I'm not gonna freak myself out, but they're watching us as well. Anybody who talk about ICE, yeah, they're watching us. But they're watching these people with social media who has the visas. Priority target enforce heavy focus on individuals with criminal record, allegedly, including those convicted of violent crime, human trafficking, and actual offense. Why I say that? Because I didn't tell you the numbers of people who actually had crime versus like criminal records versus not. But I'll tell you guys. That's why I'm making my face like the fuck. Y'all over here playing. Most of the people who got locked up did not have a criminal history. And I'm not lying. Y'all can Google that, like for real. Okay. Okay, social and family networks. This is how they so now let's move on. This is how they're targeting us. Targeting of US citizens. In late 2025 to 26, the administration openly stated that it will use ICE surveillance capability to target domestic terrorists. That's why I told you guys stop being so quick to let them call people domestic terrorists. They call Miss Good a domestic terrorist, literally. They're shaping it and put it on everybody. So again, that is opening the leeway or the door for them to surveillance all of us. Whatever they call a domestic terrorist, yeah, just what it is. Okay, so it says in 2026, the administration openly states it will use ICE surveillance capability to target domestic terrorists. A label applied to anti-ICE protesters and individual alleged to fund them. They're watching our bank account. Yeah, I'll talk about that later. The blockchain. You thought that was good. That's why God told me don't invest in that, yo. They everything. Moving forward. Also, incident exposure. Reports indicate that the US citizens have been caught in the net of license plates reader, facial recognized tools, with some instance of citizen being wrongfully detained. So you think that's what they're using? Because I'm saying to myself, how do you just chasing at the people in cars? You can't do investigation. Yeah, oh, this is what they're doing? Are they testing out these special readers and face recognition something? You let me know. This is my little synopsis. This is my Google search where I can pound a lot of information and I kind of summarize for you. It's Google information. So let's get into the finish off with the surveillance methods. Surveillance method used in 2026 will be social media monitoring, round the clock, 24/7. Hey, probably my uncle friends and she watching me. They like, isn't that Frank's niece? I love you. Y'all was watching me at the funeral too, like they predicted that I was going to be a hard ass. What my uncle tell y'all? Moving forward. Okay. Monitoring platform including TikTok, Instagram to build detailed bios. Okay, they didn't say YouTube, but we up in there. You know what it is. I'm just like, you gonna love me if you get me. Okay, biometric and tracking. Use of iris scanning. Did y'all like that? Y'all like putting your phone like ching ching? Facial recognition technology. Example, mobile forgery. We're gonna get into what is a mobile forgery? Can somebody put that in it? Is they tapping into our mobile device? Is when we touch on that disclosure, it goes straight to them. Just like ring doorbell. Shut up. I know y'all be mad at times. I be telling the truth. That's why I ain't got one. The cops tap right on there without a warrant. Thank you, Amazon Ring. Let's move forward. So it's called mobile fortifying and real-time smartphone location tracking. Y'all love it. Hmm. Lastly, assessing vast database from private data broker LexisNexis, previous restricted database by state regulations now can be accessed, and such as Department of License data. And we're done. We're done. Okay, I gave y'all a mouthful, guys. I hope you guys can digest that. We're going to be moving on with more information related to the numerous unalivings and what Trump has to say and how they're going to be ramping stuff up on us. Hopefully they don't be knocking on your door or my door. If they do, man, I'm going to have some fun with them. I'm like, big baby. See, this one thing I'm going to tell you before we get off, okay? Because I supposed to say this at the beginning. Because before I got on, I was praising. You know, God is the God. Do you know God is the God? You know God is real? Baby, you make them love you when they come. I understand y'all say, why she do this? Why they do that? We have to get control of our fight or flight. We have to get control of our situation because these people have no damn discernment. And at the end of the day, God is going to ask you what you did. And He's going to get us up out of here together. So hit the like button. Thank you for being with Grace. I know I was long-winded, but I love you guys. See you over the weekend. Well, I'll see you actually Tuesday. Okay? Enjoy your Sabbath. Peace and blessing, everyone. Love you. We all God's people. It's good versus evil. Jesus came to divide.